All right, now in this step, I will be teaching you on how to set up your e-commerce site on Shopify. Now, Shopify is a fantastic platform if you're trying to make the decision on where to go, primarily because they have 24/7 customer support, and second, they make it super easy for you to get started very quickly with starting to sell your products online, okay? If you're, scared about the technical stuff, well, Shopify makes that very easy for you, and there's very little technical stuff you got to deal with when it comes to setting up your store. So somewhere on this page there should be a link. Click on it, okay, and then you'll be taken over to Shopify. From this point, then just type in your email. I'm going to click on Get Started, and I'll type in a password here, and click on Create Your Store. Now, the back of the system there is just in the process of setting things up, but we'll wait just for a couple seconds, and it looks like it's ready to rock and roll. So simply choose the most relevant question right now, okay? And let's help you kickstart your business while you play around. Okay, so I'm just going to skip some of this here, and let's see if it'll let me just skip this here. Okay, so here we go. All right, and type in the address in here. Okay, all right, and then once you type in your information here, okay, click on Enter My Store. Now, Shopify is giving you a free 14-day trial, okay? So that's a very simple sign-up process, isn't it? Okay. So as it says here, your trial just started, and you'll have 14 days to play around, get familiar with it, and see if you really like it. And I'll just tell you hands down, again, this is by far the the best platform to choose if you want to avoid technical challenges and a lot of headache with e-commerce and just the website and internet marketing in general. So it's a really great approach to take, and headache free. And so if you have any questions, you can always contact Shopify directly, okay, by coming here underneath the settings. And when you go to settings, you can come in here to the general, or even any of these sections right here, and look at any of the settings here. But if you want to contact Shopify directly, you come up here to the top right, okay, and go to the Help Center. And you can contact them via phone, but if you want to scroll down, a very simple way of getting a hold of them is just the 24/7 chat, okay, right here. So contact Shopify support. Okay, they're very friendly, awesome people, and very helpful with your questions. So just type in the question, click on Get Help, and then you'll be able to speak with them. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. And again, it's 24/7, so that's huge. So anytime you got questions, just shoot them over to them, and they'll help you out. Okay, so from here, after you've set up your trial, okay, during the next 14 days, I'd definitely take advantage of the 14-day trial that you have before choosing a plan. There's certain functionalities that you just won't be able to use until you've paid. But if you want to choose a plan, click on Select the Plan. And the basic plan right here, okay, is plenty. That's all you really need right now, especially if you're a beginner. And let me just kind of go over some of these things here so you're familiar with how this basic plan with Shopify works, okay? So when you choose this plan, what happens is I'll show you how to integrate your shopping payment processor, okay? But when a payment comes through on your store, they're going to take $2.90 out of $100, okay? Plus 30 cents. So it's going to be, $3.20 total, okay? Out of $100, every $100, okay? And that's up to a certain amount, okay? And I don't recall exactly what that amount is. I think it's like $5,000 or something like that. But once you start reaching higher and higher levels of processing volume of sales, okay, then it might make sense to increase your plan to the 79 or the highest one, okay, as you start to generate more volume, because your transaction fee goes down the more volume you have. Okay, cool. Okay, so everything else right here is pretty straightforward, and we've pretty much covered it. Okay, so what you'd want to do is come over here to the themes and scroll down, and then you can click on free themes, or you can even look at the theme store in general. Okay, so I'm just going to click on visit theme store, and that'll take me into the section where I can start to look at pre-designed, pre-structured themes for my store. Okay, so there's going to be all kinds of great themes that you can consider. So any of them in here are going to be fantastic. Okay, so these free ones right here are good choices, but if you want more functionality and additional bells and whistles into your theme, then you might consider choosing a paid theme. Okay, because there's a lot of excellent perks with going that route, and you'll just have to play around with these different themes and see which ones you like. I've had a lot of stores just built off of the free themes. Okay. The minimal right here has worked out quite well, and I've used the supply free theme as well. So at the end of the day, it's really about your preference and then also the functionality that you're looking for in your store. But the best practices for the whole structuring of your theme and your site in general, Shopify follows, okay, with all these themes. And so they're very clean, and they're not ugly looking. When you choose a theme, these images don't come with it. Okay, so these are just demos. Okay, so if you wanted to let's say go with the symmetry theme, we'll click on that one and check it out. And this one comes with different styles, and so you can kind of see that the different colors are built into it, and you can try the theme and give it a whirl and see how you like it. If you're modeling, if you're following one of my strategies, okay, that I've taught you about modeling after success, then you can look at one of your modeling sites that you're patterning, that you want to pattern your site after, and see just how close one of these themes can match up to your model site as close as possible without having to do a lot of work in restructuring it at all. Okay, so if you wanted to go with this theme, you can see here that there's just placeholders, right, for the images, and you'll be able to go in here and customize it very easily, and I'll show you how to do that in upcoming trainings coming right after this. Okay, so anyways, right now the biggest thing to keep in mind is just choose a theme that looks really nice to you, and you're modeling after someone else that has been in your niche long enough to be able to be successful, and they have a great site structure. And then choose a theme that follows suit, okay, that follows that example. So again, all of these themes on Shopify are going to follow best practices, and so you can't really go wrong with choosing a theme that is on here. You just got to choose a theme that you like and move forward. Okay, so all right, so that covers the theme question of what theme to choose. Okay, so now that you've signed up with Shopify, then you can go through and customize some of the settings for your store. Okay, so when you come over here to your settings, you can come here to the general section, and you can start to customize the name, put in your email, okay, put in the legal name of your business, and this is all pretty straightforward information here. Okay, so your address and the format of your currency, okay, the unit system. So again, just go through here and set up the settings that are needed, okay, and then you can move forward with clicking on save. Okay, and then let's come back here and go to the online store, or settings, sorry, and then you can move forward with customizing these other areas. Okay, so taxes. Okay, so the taxes will depend on where you're living and if you have a nexus in that area. So a nexus is all about if you have a physical location in the state that you're doing business and charging people money for the products that you're selling to them who are living also in that state. Okay, so that's my understanding with the whole nexus laws and taxes and charging sales tax. Okay. My recommendation is always to speak first with your tax accountant or your CPA, and they can point you in the right direction on what to do more specifically, because tax laws are a big beast and they're always changing. But in general, how it all works is if let's say I live in Utah, okay, in the United States. If I make sales to people in Utah, okay, then I gotta charge sales tax to those people, because Utah is one of those states that does charge sales tax. Okay, and so I applied for a sales tax ID and I've received that, and I'm legally able to charge people sales tax in the state on the sales that I make here because I live here. Okay, but charging sales tax on sales outside of Utah, I don't. There are a few exceptions, but those exceptions are things that you'll have to go over with your CPA, your tax accountant. Okay? All right. So with that said, I'm going to leave this as is right now, but once you're clear about your taxes, then you can, of course, come in here and set up your tax rates. Okay? Okay, so once we're done with the taxes, then now the account section right here is where you can come along and set up the staff account. So if you want to have like a virtual assistant, for example, come along and help you out, then you can add their email and they can log in as a separate login altogether, and then you don't have to give out your login. Okay. And here's some just additional things you can do with your store, such as pausing it or closing it and so forth. Okay, the payment providers falls in line with using Stripe. Okay, Stripe is an extremely flexible and popular gateway, okay, that will process your payments when customers buy them from you through your website. All right, so what you would need to do is if you want to use them, then you can come along here and complete your account setup. So to do that, you'll need to have a few things ready, okay? So I'll point those out as you start to move forward here. But when you fill this out, choose the relevant type of entity that you have, the business type. So, if you have an LLC, whichever it is, the market as needed, and then your EIN. Okay, I've trained you and teach people how to set up their EIN. It is optional. Okay. So if you have your EIN, then of course put it in there. Your address, personal details. Okay, your product details right here. You can simply just choose something that is relevant. Okay, if you're just getting started, then just put 0 to 10. Okay, and then the shipping time. Usually it's going to be 0 to 6 days if you're working with suppliers here in the States that ship to people within the States. Okay. But again, check with your supplier on that, okay? So it'll be as accurate as possible, okay? I would take a moment to describe the description of your business and your products that you're selling, okay? So the reason for that is, again, Shopify works directly with a partner called Stripe, okay? And Stripe is a completely separate company. They're not Shopify, okay? Stripe is the payment processing company. For other better words, okay, they're the company that's in charge of processing the payments and taking care of all that. So they look at what the description is here and see if it's high risk or not. And so make sure to put something in here that describes as best as possible what you're selling and what business you're in. Okay. Okay. Now the customer billing statement. This is where when someone buys something from you, this is what they're going to see on their statement. Okay. And so make sure to put something right here that will reflect the same name as your business. Okay, so if you're in the camping niche, then that's your name, then make sure to put that on there so it's relevant and people won't complain and get charge refunds or things like that because they don't know who you are. Okay, so make sure you put that there along with your telephone number. Okay, now the banking information. This is what you'll need to be able to set this up successfully. Okay, so if you don't have a bank account for your business, and I would strongly recommend getting one. All right, so go to a credit union or a bank and set one up. You need to go there in person to be able to set that up. And once you have that, then get the routing and account number, put it in here, and then what will happen is Stripe will verify your account. If all looks good, they'll approve it. Then you're golden. You're ready to rock and roll with charging payments successfully with the Stripe gateway / processor. Okay, so from there on out, when people pay you on your website, then that money will automatically be deposited into your Stripe account. Okay, and so when you go over here to stripe.com, you can actually log in and you can see your payments being processed and all that stuff. But that's, like I said, a completely different company. So we're done with the payment section. And the checkout, there's not really a lot that we're going to do right here at this moment, but in future trainings, there's some strategies that we'll get into when it comes to the checkout process. But for right now, you can just get familiar with these areas. And but I do want to point out this additional scripts right here is where you could put your tracking ID. Okay, when you start to do your marketing, and I'll show you that in a little bit more in depth. Okay, so but right now, just pay attention to this refunds and privacy and terms of service statement area. So come in here and put in those legal pages and that text in here. Okay, so if you want to have Shopify just generate it for you, then just click on Generate Sample Refund Policy, and boom, there you go. Okay, pretty simple. Okay. And same thing here for the privacy policy and the terms of service. Okay. And again, if you need to go on through and customize it, then you can go through and customize it afterwards. Okay. Okay. But that's just an example. That's not my site, but just showing you. Okay. And then when you're done, you can click on Save. Okay. So that's the only major section in there that you would need to be concerned about at that time. Okay, all right, so that is pretty much about it for right now. In the next training, I will actually go in more depth in regarding more customization aspects of your Shopify store and things you can do to get it ready to launch. Okay, so that's it for right now, and just move forward with getting those things done, and we'll talk with you in the next training.